What is up, YouTube? Seeing Gradelock here. I'm your son Enrico, and the AlphonZeus seeing Gradelock, which is right next to me. And I gotta say, all my women friends out there, how's my women fuck face in the world? Yes. We're here doing a deck profile of Messiahs. We have Ian Roberto Ramirez Cortez doing it for us. Ian, please break down the whole deck profile if you can for us, please.
So to start it off, we got our starter, Neon Messiah. His effect is when he GB1, when he unlocks, you can choose to put him in the soul. If you do, search your deck for your main grade 3 Alter Ego Messiah. Alter Ego Messiah is your main grade 3. His effect, Break Stride, is Counterblast 1. When you stride on top of him, lock one of your own units to lock one of your opponents. And the unit that you're stride into gets +5. His other effect is GB2. Whenever a unit's unlocked during any point in time, you may Soul Blast 1 to draw 1. So you can see how this deck gets some easy advantage with just the amounts of Soul Blast they can do. And the other main grade 3 use is Starvader Freeze Ray. His effect is whenever a card enters your damage, you get to lock one card on your opponent's board. This effect is really good because for on-hit effects like Mellum, you can choose to lock Mellum, so the effects wouldn't go off. But Mellum's a special case, because Mellum's broken.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's it for grade 3s. Now moving on to grade 2s, we have...
just real quick, what matchups do you think Freeze Ray helps out immensely where you would have lost if it wasn't for the card?
Royal Paladin, Pale Moon, Grand Blue off the top of my head are the main 3. Pale Moon being able to literally put units back into their soul so I have nothing to lock is annoying. Grand Blue, obviously, they retire their units at the end phase with Hollow and such effects, so being able to keep them on the field once again, another good ability. And I said Royal Paladin? Royal Paladin, obviously, if they rush me before I ride my Freeze Ray, they probably will win. But the thing is, they call out so much during the attack phase, and they have a lot of effects that happen at the end of the battle, so Freeze Ray literally just stops them.
It makes cards like Lu, Flogel, and other cards like that useless.
It makes the whole Blaster Blade combo a little irrelevant.
And that's the point where you search for a Neon Messiah and add the Alter Ego, and then you start...
You would have to lock a card from your back row. There are a few cards that allow you to do that. There's Arrested Messiah. His effect is when he's placed, you can give him +2, and the ability of after he attacks, you can lock himself to lock any card in any player's back row.
Sorry about that. You need a Messiah Vanguard for that, though.
You do need a Messiah Vanguard, but if you're on Freeze Ray, you have Messiah Vanguard Strides, which is useful. Our other grade 2 is Lady Battler of the Gravity Well. Her effect is just once per turn during your main phase, you can lock a card on your board to give her +4. So just lock a card on your board. That's so useful. It's amazing.
You wouldn't think it would be?
Yeah, you would think it's a little bit irrelevant, but it's honestly more useful than you could imagine with a bunch of other combos I'll explain later. And our other grade 2, we run 3 of it, is Lady Battler of the Black Dwarf. Her effect is after she attacks, you make Counterblast 1, lock herself, and give any unit +5. So you can give the +5 to your Vanguard or Rearguard. This card's super stupid with the strides. There's a very long combo that... do you want me to explain the combo at the end of the deck profile?
You can separate cards and then at the end of the deck profile show it.
Yeah, but there's a pretty big power play for the deck that uses her, and it involves giving one of your Rearguards an extra 27 power.
And she makes great combos with a certain grade 1 that's about to come up really soon.
For grade 1s, we have obviously 4 perfect cards. You're not gonna not run 4 perfect cards.
I mean, when you have things in this game that swing like 3 crit, you kind of want to protect
the unflipping ones because the deck uses a healthy amount of counterblast, and by that I mean you will literally choke on the amount of counterblast you use.
But it does have some good...
We run a lot of amazing cards that unflip damage. But before I get to those, we also obviously run 4 Stride Assist. It's useful. The deck needs striding a lot. There's no reason to not stride. And our other grade 2s, the reason why counterblasting isn't too awful, or grade 1s, I'm sorry. We have Sacrifice Messiah, we run 4 of that, and 2 of Chameleon. Chameleon has resist, so he helps against a lot of bad matchups like Haguro. And his effect is whenever he unlocks, you unflip a damage. And we have Sacrifice Messiah, one of the most useful grade 1s in this deck. And I'd say he's the best card in the deck, hands down. His effect is whenever a card is locked, yours or your opponent's, you can lock him as well. You unflip a damage and give any unit on your board +3. So what essentially that means is you can Counterblast 1, lock her, give a unit +5, lock him, because they're boosting, it's the same column. You lock both of them, unflip a damage, so she becomes free, and give a unit +8.
And Sacrifice Messiah doesn't say on your turn. There are certain plays that can be used to activate on your opponent's turn.
Yes, with our some of our other good cards, like our G-Guards and stuff, but once again, I'll get into that later.
Yep.
That's it for grade 1s. Now for our trigger lineup. For our trigger lineup, we run 4 Blink Messiah. Obvious, like, his effect is whenever your Vanguard with Messiah card name attacks, put in the soul, so it helps feed Alter Ego Messiah. Give a unit, give itself +5, so it helps it hit better magic numbers. And draw 1.
Helps make your ego huge, right, Ian?
Hell yeah.
If it wasn't huge already.
We also run 4 of the Starvader crit.
Tell them how good this card is, Ian.
Essentially, you can pay the cost to shuffle it back in your deck without actually having a Starvader Vanguard, which essentially means if I have 3 of these in my hand, I can call it, shuffle it back in my deck, pull another one, shuffle it back in my deck, pull another one. You get the gist, and now I have 3 extra crits in my deck. It helps super good late game when your deck is no more than 20 cards.
In a deck where it's probably gonna deck itself out, this is your
Shuffle things back. As well as that, we run 2 vanilla crits. We run 2 draw triggers. She also goes in the soul, so good things are good.
Is the +3 ever relevant?
It has been with the huge combo. It genuinely can make the 3, I think, puts it at 41 or something like that. It literally puts it to an exact number. And you're not gonna not run 4 heals. This is Vanguard.
At this point, if they offer you huge defense just for running heals, might as well.
You have G-Guards, you have everything. It's good.
Yeah.
Speaking of G-Guards, we run 2 of the what's his name? Genesis Beast Destiny Guardian. His effect is when you G-Guard with him, you can choose to unlock any 2 cards, yours or your opponent's, and he gets +10 shield, bringing him up to a 25. So if your Vanguard's at 11 base, it brings you to 36.
And combo plays with this thing, you can Soul Blast 2 and draw 2 on your opponent's turn. Not hugely relevant, but it can be
the extra
relevant.
draws can always help. And speaking of locking cards during my opponent's turn, we have our G-Guard. His effect is just lock a card in your back row and it gets 5 shield. What's very, very good about this is if you lock any card, and then you can use Sacrifice this effect to lock itself, unflip a damage, and you can give your Vanguard +3 during your opponent's turn, making it easier to guard.
You make it easier to guard, and you save this specific card from being killed by units like
by any on-hit effects or any retire effects, really, during the battle.
Cards like Turbo and VMAX.
Exactly. So that's the reason this deck kind of has a good advantage against brawlers. It's able to G-Guard and just lock all the units they're attacking anyway.
Yep.
So it's pretty good. For Rush, we also run 2 Spaghetti Monsters. His effect is Counter +1. Everything that's locked unlocks, and everything that's unlocked locks.
And if you guys actually want to read the name.
Yeah.
Translates.
He's pretty much for when your opponent just has a full board and you have nothing on board, or you have cards that need to be locked.
Or if they have a full board of resist units because AoE effect doesn't...
It doesn't target, so it gets over all resist cards. And for our last 2 of in the Stride Zone, we run 2 of the original Messiah. He's a good card. He allows for big units. That's it for the grade, for the 2 ofs. And now for the 4 ofs, we run 4 Big Crunch Dragon. Very useful, allows Omega Locking, which stops your opponent. Hand +1, flip a copy of himself face up, so you can only use them 2 times during the battle, or during the game. And you Omega Lock your opponent's column. What's good about this is if your opponent has a card with resist in a column, you can target the other card to get the card with resist Omega Lock. And for the other 4 ofs, we run 4 Flow Messiah.
Graduate, but how... What about this?
She is easily the best thing this deck could have gotten. Her effect is kind of +1. Flip up anything in your Stride Zone. So this deck doesn't have a way to get heals back. So if you have a heal in your damage, you can comfortably flip up a G-Guard. You could flip up Spaghetti if you're not facing Rush. So that's useful. For each face-up copy of itself, so for the first one, you're gonna flip up a copy of itself. You unlock 2 cards on either player's board for each face-up copy. So if I have 2 face-up, it unlocks 4, for example. And if I unlocked at least 1 card, I can choose any number of locked cards and Omega Lock them.
Which is really good.
I can do Big Crunch to Omega Lock a column, then go into Flow. The column is still locked. Keep that Omega Lock and Omega Lock the front row because I can use my Break Stride's effect to lock it.
Because it's a deck that's centered around locking your own units, Sacrifice can kind of just lock himself, be the perfect fodder just to be able to chosen for this card, and then you basically keep your opponent's board on a lockdown for the whole game. It's honestly very good.
Yeah, this deck, I've been using it now for I think 7-8 months, so I can say I'm very comfortable with it. It definitely, it feels like it's breakable, honestly. There's so much you can abuse with it, it's pretty insane.
And most people don't really abuse all the combos that the deck has.
For example, I'll just set up one of the combos now. This is what I usually get off. It's super easy to do, and it doesn't require too much.
You have both of the battlers.
Behind her, you want that, and you want that. Alright. So, you stride. Let's not even say your opponent has locked cards. This is all just for power. You go into her. It's obvious. She's the main one you go into. Let's say you have 4 damage, 2 face down. I don't know.
We start with face down just to show you the power of Sacrifice right now.
Yeah. So, Break Stride. Lock.
Counterbuff.
Lock one of your opponent's rear. Lock one of your opponent's rear guards. Activate Sacrifice. Lock. +3. Or no. Yeah. So you activate. No. That's right. For this play, you don't want to do the Break Stride because you can use her to get more power. Or let's say hypothetically you don't have the extra Sacrifice as well. It's just that's being greedy.
Ian's a little slow. Don't worry.
Let's even just put 1 Sacrifice on board just to show how stupid he could be.
Chameleon.
So Break Stride, lock one of your opponent's cards. Activate Sacrifice effect, lock, give this unit +3, making it a 12, so it can attack your opponent's Vanguard by itself. Unlock a damage, or unflip a damage. Activate effect, lock, give itself +4. Enter combat, you go 12 to Van, Cannon Blast 1, lock +5, attack Van, Cannon Blast 1, unlock 4 units.
So you would be having 2 face up?
Yeah, assuming you have 2 face up. And because of double chameleon, you unflip 2 damage. So right now, because you didn't do Break Stride, this is just 26. Triple drive, let's say you hit dry. You go to attack Vanguard again, activate effect, Cannon Blast, lock, 3, 5, unflip, and attack. So she got 4 from her own effect, 2 5s, and 1 3. So that puts her at 9 + 4, 13, 13 + 10, 23, 23 plus the 6, or plus the 3 is 26 by herself, which is already a magic number, which is why I was pointing out if you had an extra Sacrifice just for why not, and +7 boost, so it's 26 + 7, it hits over 31,000. And not only that, but you also just did 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks in 1 turn. Although 2 of them, or no, one of them was below, one of them was only 11 drop, 5 drop, but the rest were all 10 or more.
Which is, like, that's the thing about this deck in particular. It's control, but it doesn't...
With a lot of aggression.
Which is good for Link Joker. The only thing that this deck has that doesn't... excuse me, the only thing...
The reason it loses the rush so well, I guess, is because it isn't meant to... Like, this is rush and control, so just
it's
rush
not fast
outbeats
enough.
it. Yeah. And the same thing with Kagero. This deck is suited, I guess, specifically for more of an anti-tempo, because you lose to control and you lose to rush. It's not good at it can't outdo the other, really. But there's not a lot of amazing rush decks in Vanguard. There's also not a lot of amazing control decks, which helps solidify this deck. And I'd say a tier 1 or I guess tier 1, tier maybe 1.5.
It's a very, very strong deck.
I'd definitely say this is in the top 10 decks in the game right now.
It's able to stand on 2 legs, and it's able to stand on two legs. It's actually able to stand up to most of the decks in the format. It's able to push very hard. And no matter what, Link Joker will always be very strong in the format just for its ability to block. And this deck abuses it.
Keeps a lot of other decks in check, basically. Because just overall, this deck just has a lot of amazing answers to a lot of good decks in the meta right now, specifically
Freeze Ray,
Brawlers.
Freeze Ray makes you attack weird.
It's a very it's oppressive to the decks that aren't like Geartron.
Yeah,
Literally.
but you can hold somewhat of a fight against Geartron.
I've honestly gone like the Geartron matchup. I think is a 7-3 or a 6-4 for me. Like Geartron's definitely more favorable, but Geartron being 64% of the meta, you gotta compensate.
I mean, at least some form of originality. Like Messiah's not seen too much, and like most people, to be honest, kind of just don't know how to play against it, and people don't know how to play it to its fullest potential.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who just can't use the deck properly, I feel. But if you can be taught to play the deck well, it will definitely treat you well itself. It rewards a smart player who can do everything efficiently, I feel.
Which is honestly what Link Joker is. But
yeah, very skilled.
Very away from discussion. Thank you for giving us the profile, Ian.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for Team Gradelock.
And check out Team Rogue on YouTube as well. And again, thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, and we'll be back with more deck profiles and match videos. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Bye.